What would it be like if you could make an extra $500 a month, $1,000 a month, or even $2,000 a month? Well, in this video, I'm going to be teaching you about exactly how you can do that by launching an online course. All right, let's dive in. Welcome to the video. My name is John Clark. I'm a licensed counselor and private practice expert, helping you get more clients, make more money, and master private practice. And in this video, I'm talking to you about how to launch an online course. I want to start by talking to you about my original course launches that were complete flops. A few years ago, I had the idea in my head one day that, hey, maybe therapists want to learn about email marketing. And so I sat down, I started putting together the course. I hired people to create the slides and make everything look really beautiful. I figured out a price for the course. I put it on Teachable and launched it. And then guess what? No one bought it. There's a lot of reasons why this course failed, and I'm going to talk to you about how to not replicate my mistakes here in just a few minutes. Now, fast forward to this past November when I actually learned from an expert how to do a successful course launch, and in that very first launch, we made $11,000 over the course of just one webinar. We've since doubled and even tripled that in our subsequent monthly launches. So all that is to say that this is totally possible for you, and you can make serious jumps in your income just by launching an online course. The first reason is that a lot of times they don't have a fully booked caseload already, meaning their private practice isn't full. This is a problem because when you don't have a full caseload, it means you don't have a good grasp on marketing, and in this case, online marketing. This is a major problem because not only do you lose focus very quickly when it comes to actually launching your online course, and then your practice suffers, but again, you don't really understand how the internet works and how to do online marketing in the first place. From there, it's therapists that are not solving a painful enough problem with their course. Again, every good course starts with figuring out a very painful problem that you can solve for someone through the delivery of your course or training program. It's not enough to just assume you have a good idea and then build it. Another common mistake I see is that they either don't have an email list or an audience, or they don't have the motivation or skill to get one. You can launch an online course without an email list or an audience. In fact, today I'm going to show you a free way to do so. And then finally, therapists just don't stick with it long enough. Again, if I had just stopped after my initial course launch flop, then I definitely wouldn't have had that successful course launch back in November. So a lot of this has to do with just sticking with it. Launching a course successfully means you're gonna have to launch probably a few times before you have some real success. You have to be persistent, you have to be willing to stick with it. All right, let's get into the actual steps as to how to launch your online course. Okay, step one, you've obviously got to figure out what your course is going to be about. This is where a lot of people get stuck and they give up right away. How do you determine what your course is going to be about? Well, you have to look for the most painful and urgent problem in the lives of your target market, so whoever you want to serve. If you don't know what problem you're going to solve with your course, well then start by figuring out which audience you want to serve, what your target market is going to be. Once you have that target market, then your next step is to really go into that target market, start interacting with people, and just simply being a good listener and observer, getting to know them, and simply asking them, what are your biggest pain points in your life and in your job? Now, I will tell you, the bigger and more urgent the problem is, the more you can charge for it and the more value it's going to have. So if you want a high ticket course, then you really want to think about that here early on as you're starting to plan out the actual topic for your course. Okay, once you've got your topic for your course, the next thing that you should do is to create what I call your minimum viable offer, or your MVO. Your MVO is basically the simplest version of your course or program, and you want to basically roll that out and run it with just a handful of beta testers or pilot participants. This is going to be just a few people who've basically volunteered to go through your course in kind of a preliminary way to help you work out the kinks, and also as a way for you to get proof of concept. At this point, your course should be totally bare bones. It could be as simple as a Facebook Live where you walk them through the materials and the actual trainings. It could be a YouTube Live. It could be just a screen share of you walking them through the slides and materials, etc. You just want a simple kind of stripped down version of your actual course. You want to get around 3 to 5 beta testers or pilot participants for this initial MVO launch. And then lastly, the other thing that you're going to do with this initial group of beta testers is you're going to ask them for not only their feedback, which will help you further develop your course and get it ready for launch, but you're also going to actually ask them for their testimonials. You're going to be able to use that for your social proof when it comes to actually marketing your course. The words that they will use to talk about their experiences in your course are going to be absolute gold. Their words to describe their experience and their outcomes are going to be way better than any words you could ever come up with on your own. You can even use some of this feedback to name your course, to figure out the pricing of your course, the structure, the length, etc. Use this time to explore all the different possibilities and variables of your course. Okay, next, once you've gone through your minimum viable offer and run it with your beta testers, the next thing to do is to start putting together a plan to reach your target market. So in other words, we've got to start marketing your actual launch. Now, for most of you, you're not going to already have a large email list or a following or an audience, right? So in this case, what I suggest that you do is simply create a free Facebook group for your target market and just call it something really descriptive. So let's say, for instance, if you were helping chiropractors feel less stressed, then you would name the Facebook group something really similar to this. Within that Facebook group, you just want to give it at least 30 days or more to start building it up, have at least a few hundred participants or members of that group, get some good engagement, and also use this time to continue to get to know your target market even better without even mentioning your course or your upcoming offer. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to run a live webinar where you share some value or some portion of your course to your target market. Now, keep the technology super low tech at this point. This is again where a lot of people get really hung up and they give up overall. It could be as simple as a Facebook Live, it could be as simple as a YouTube Live, etc. What's important is that you do collect the names and email addresses of these participants so that you can follow up after the webinar has ended. Now, again, on this webinar, you're just going to share some portion of your course or some value or tips or tricks that are relevant to your target market. You're going to build some value, you're going to build some excitement, and then at the end, you're basically going to pitch your offer or pitch the opportunity to learn more about your offer. I suggest that when it's your first course launch, at the end of that webinar, you actually send people to sign up for a free strategy session or discovery call with you. During this free call, you can hop on a Zoom video room or just a phone call and talk to them about their biggest problems, where they're getting stuck, what they want as it relates to your offer, what's getting in the way of them getting what they want, and then you introduce your offer, you introduce the pricing, and you ask them to sign up right then and there on the call. This is the simplest way to start getting some actual sales from your course right away. This is also bypassing the stress and headache of actually creating a really long sales page where you're going to be using that sales page to sell your course. Okay, once you have enough people who you've sold the actual course to and you know it's worth building the next version of it or the full version of it, now it's time to actually move forward and fully develop the course. I'm going to suggest that you do your first course launch with basically a small cohort of people where you all start at the same point and work through the course sequentially. A little trick here is to not build the entire course or the full version of the course until you've actually sold it and you know people are going to buy it. In business terms, this is called shadow testing. It's extremely important and can save you a ton of time and headache. Okay, so once you've run your first cohort through your entire program, then you're going to basically go back into product development mode and figure out how powerful is my program? How effective is it? Can I make it more effective? Can I charge more for it, etc.? and you're also going to ask your first group of students to give you more feedback as well as testimonials that you can use for social proof and your future marketing. Once you have what I call proof of viability, then you want to look at a plan to really scale up your online course, to really scale up your marketing, and potentially even make this either a bigger part of your business or make it your whole business entirely. Okay, so that's it. So that's how to go from no course to a successful course launch with very little technology in very little time. Again, this is not a comprehensive step-by-step kind of video about how to actually do it or how to set up the tech and all that good stuff, but this is a good place to get you started. Now, if you do want my hint or suggestion in terms of the tech, I think personally the best all-in-one platform you could find is Kajabi. Kajabi is the platform that I use for pretty much everything related to my online course, and so I'm going to highly recommend it, especially if you're just starting out. If you are going to use Kajabi, you can get a free trial, and I'm going to put a link down in the description below. It will be an affiliate link, so if you enjoyed this video, you can do me a favor and sign up using my affiliate link. All right, that's it. So good luck on your first course launch. Let me know how it goes. Let me know in the comments below what other questions you have about this or what other videos around course launches you'd like to see next. Until then, again, I'm John Clark from privatepracticeworkshop.com. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.